Yeah.
Right.
So we've been with Sadhana in the villages for a week now, in the villages of Kunchal and Palung, and we really love it here, and we really love Sadhana and her family, and we've had some amazing times with people, and we just want to share a few of our favorite moments.
Yeah, so one of my favorite days, we got to go visit with a few families of believers. One, it was so sweet. We just had a great worship time together, and just meeting with the Lord together, and worshiping in Nepali and English, and singing in tongues together. It's been amazing. And one of the women shared her testimony of how she came to know Jesus. And she had struggled, she grew up Hindu and had struggled with a lot of different illnesses. And also her crops never were growing well. People would make fun of her farm because it wasn't growing like it should. And one day she was so sick that she was in the hospital, and the nurses were saying she's not going to make it, she's going to die. And that night she had a vision of an angel coming to her and tapping her on the shoulder 3 times and healed her. And the next day she was discharged home from the hospital. And so this is how God began to encounter her, and she became a believer. And then right next to her, this sweet woman who's been a believer for 5 months because of her testimonies and her faith in sharing the gospel with her. So it's just amazing. It's really incredible to hear stories from the believers here, and just see how God has worked in their lives. We also went to another believer's house later that day. She's been struggling with some kind of demonic oppression. It's been bothering her for some time now, so she was asking us to come and pray with her. And so I think we just encouraged her authority as a believer, and who she really is in the Lord, and what it really means that she's filled with the Holy Spirit. And then spent some time worshiping together, and we could see that she was being bothered a bit by some spirits, huh? You could tell. And so Zoe felt from the Lord to wash her feet, and so, which is a big deal here in this culture. It's really looked down on if you touch people's feet. It's like very, very humbling. Like, no one does that. And so it was hard for her to accept, but it was an act of love, and it really, she got the message of how much Jesus loves her, and that He calls her a daughter. Yeah. So we just prayed for her through that time, and loved on her, and I believe she really got filled with love. She was so happy. It was a beautiful time to see her coming into a place of freedom.
That's so good.
She don't wanted to leave you.
No, she wanted us to stay.
She wanted to keep us forever. And it's always so sad to leave these people, because we just fall in love with them, like, instantly. But it's a massive blessing to get to meet them. And bless them.
So one of my favorite thing is going for prayer. And actually we had a prayer time on Sunday. It was really great. We had, after breakfast, we went for prayer in a hill where we wanted to be a training center and children home also. And we went there and we had a worship time, very nice. It was great. And after that we got to pray for different things, and also they prayed for us, for everyone, all the staffs, and it was great. I was so much blessed to have a prayer like that. I was so happy, it was really, I could feel that God's presence was there, and it was nice. And then after prayer we went for momos in a small restaurant in our brother Sam's shop, a restaurant. We went there and we just talked with them and played with his children, his small boy. It was fun, and we had some momos and we got to pray for them and bless them. Actually we went last time also when you came, and that time he was sick and he was not feeling well, and we prayed for him, and we prayed for him. And this time when we went, he said like he is so much better. He doesn't have dizziness, and he is not feeling so much sick. Still he is a little bit weak, but not so sick like before. He said like that. It's so good to hear that testimony, and it's a really blessing. And then we came back, and yeah, and then these guys went again another places, but I stayed back home with children. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to some house church meetings, and they were really encouraging times. Like, we would just worship with them, mostly some bits in Nepali and a lot of tongues, because that's a language we all know. So, and that's really fun, and we felt to release freedom and joy, so we shared about that a lot, and just about the wave of revival that's coming. And I really enjoyed getting to share the Welsh revival song in Welsh, and just share about the history of what had happened, and just to encourage people what really can happen to a community when he takes a hold of it, when God takes a hold of it. And one of the things that really encouraged me this time was meeting Mahesh's mum. We had visited her last time, and she'd been on oxygen for the last year, and she'd been using oxygen for many, many hours a day, and it was getting really expensive for their family too, and they can't really afford it. And yeah, we just went and prayed for her and encouraged her in who she is in God. And then this time we went, she doesn't really use the oxygen much at all anymore. She uses it for 30 minutes in the morning and in the evening, and I think that's just more for comfort than anything. It's like we saw her up and about, like walking around outside in the town after that, and we didn't even recognize her because we'd just seen her in bed before. But like, that was like a dramatic, recovery, and that was really encouraging to see. And then we came to Palung a couple of days ago, and then yesterday we felt, last time we sang over a hillside where there's only Hindu people, and Sadhana and her family have been to all of these houses in the past, telling people the gospel and making sure people know about Jesus and have the opportunity to receive him. But on this hillside nobody had received him yet, and so we sang over it and we worshipped over it, and we just declared good things over the land and blessing. And then this time we felt like we were supposed to go and walk around in that area so that we could just see if God was gonna just open any doors that day. So yesterday we went for a walk, and we got invited to sit down with this lady, and she brought us tea, and we just shared about the woman at the well. Andrea told her the story of the woman at the well, and we shared about living water and how Jesus can give you just the fullness of life and joy and everything. And we got to sing over her son who needed healing, and just sing like healing prayer over him. And then we walked up to where they're building a temple, a Hindu temple, and we walked there and we prayed over the land, and then we went to a hill that was just a bit higher than the temple, so we could look at the temple and we could look at the land and sing and worship over the land. And that was just a really sweet time of declaring God's promises over the land, and declaring who these people are called to be, and just releasing love in that place and taking the territory for him. And that was just a really sweet time too. And then we were just praying like divine appointments. We're just open to anything, whatever God has for us. And then on the way back down the hill, we came across a lady who just straight away, she was like, come in for tea. And so we just went to her house. She gave us some yogurt stuff and some cucumber and some tea, and we just sat with her family for quite a while and just like sharing. They were asking lots of questions about why we were here or where we'd come from and our countries, and then we got to worship a little bit and just release the presence of God in that place, and just have fun with people really. And it was just really good to go there, and we really believe that just by going there that we're softening people's hearts and minds to receive the gospel. And we shared like some words of life over her, just like who she is and the fact that she has a big heart and she carries a lot of love for people, and they were like, how did you know that? And we said it was Jesus, and it was just a really good time of sharing and just having fun really. So just releasing freedom and joy. That was probably one of my favorite days as well. So we've just really been having fun, which is how it should be on this beautiful adventure.
I remember walking back after yesterday, and Sadhana was just saying, just so you guys know, it's not normally like that. People aren't normally that happy to visit and even to hear about Jesus.
Yeah.
or just to share. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
God is doing special things. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're happy to be His kids.
And we know it's so important to be interceding and praying over the land, even when we're not there. Like to be interceding and praying, and doing more in the spirit realm before we even go. And then there's just gonna be a harvest of abundance. Like it's gonna be amazing. So
Yeah.
yay!
Yeah.
That's the
So
end.
keep praying.
Timothy.
Timothy.
We love you.
Love.
Eh?